Hello, Jenna. Hello, you from Ukraine. We're very glad to meet you and see you.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you and see you as well.
Jenna, most likely there are no people in the world who haven't heard about the Getty Images agency. And yet, if there are such people, could you tell us a little bit about this organization for our viewers?
Of course. So I think most people that do know Getty Images know it as a stock photo company. They do license visual content all over the world. That's photography, videos, stills, graphic content, and they really have hundreds of millions of assets in their arsenal. I believe that back in the 90s, it was the first company that ever licensed imagery on the internet. So they're really the pros when it comes to visual licensing. But as somebody that's worked there, I know that they offer so much more than just stock content. I mean, Getty has unparalleled access to some of the world's biggest editorial events. They're at all of the Olympics, the Oscars, the Super Bowls. They have so many photojournalists and staff photographers that work for them that have access to these incredible point of views from all over the world. And they also have a team of researchers and creators that help make sure that brands that need the right photography and digital assets have access to them. I think they also do a really wonderful job in, offering image grants to up and coming photographers to really help them get their name out into the world and give them the resources that they would need that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Then I know that you worked at Getty Images. Please tell us what your job was.
Sure. So when I first started, I was hired into the marketing and PR team. So I was focused primarily on communications. And in that role, I started looking after our press coverage. I was responsible for a few of Getty's subsidiary social media accounts. And I really helped prepare our staff photographers for press interviews. My favorite part of that job was really, I had the opportunity to create these image galleries from these huge editorial events. And I would create curated collections for the press. And that was the part that I loved the most. And after a couple years, there was a new department opening up at Getty that really was focused on our consumer audience. We basically realized that a lot of the people coming to Getty's website weren't there just to license imagery, but they were there to look at our vast image galleries. So this new department that I joined was really there to kind of create more of these galleries for people to look at. And in that new role, I became responsible for managing Getty's main Instagram handle. And in addition to that, I'd also be helping create some of these galleries. So I was really spending a lot more time digging into Getty's archives, into all of our image collections. And I really saw, I think there was a big opportunity for Getty and Instagram, because the accounts were priorly managed to promote Getty as a brand. Everybody already kind of knows Getty as a household name. And I was really focused on trying to get users to see more of the pictures we had to offer and really taking them back to this new website. We have infinite stories to tell and hundreds of millions of pictures to tell those stories. So what better way than to kind of show them through our Instagram account? I think when I first started, we had around 800,000 followers. And in about 6 months, I was able to grow that to over 1 million followers. So that was about a little more than a 20% growth in a very short amount of time. And it was a pretty big accomplishment. We were very happy with it. And as a result, we were getting a lot more eyeballs on this website. Instead of having Getty Images being promoted as a brand, I saw an opportunity to also leverage it as a traffic driving platform. So I tried to look at really encouraging people to visit the link in our bio so that they can go back to our website. And at the time, Instagram stories was relatively new. I don't think too many brands were using it that frequently back then. So I was really trying to get people to swipe up so that they would go back to our website. And something that worked really well for us there was kind of showing small snippets of stories and kind of teasing them with the bigger picture by showing them, for example, we had a beautiful gallery of color photographs that were never seen from World War II. So we would post a couple of these on our Instagram stories and tell people if they want to see more, swipe up and you can see dozens of these images and hear the stories behind them and see what it took to uncover these images and find them in our archives and really kind of drive that interest and attention back to the main source of that content.
How did you choose how did you choose these galleries, these photo stories for the Instagram? I think you didn't take all the pictures that you have in Getty Images.
No, that's correct. I mean, there are hundreds of millions of pictures. So we had a great team of editors that would be creating dozens of galleries every day that would get onto our homepage. And I would kind of mull those over as they would become live and getting published. And the ones that really had a compelling storyline and that had visual appeal were the ones that would make it to our Instagram page. We certainly couldn't showcase everything, but if there was a breaking news event, that would certainly make it onto our Instagram feed. And if there was a more quirky or interesting story that could grab people's attention, that would usually go to our Instagram story. Yeah. Because Instagram stories are ephemeral. They would only last for 24 hours. And at the time, I don't even think that highlight reels existed. So we didn't have the opportunity to save them onto our highlight reel. That came about a little bit later in our journey. So it's really about kind of, I think one story that did particularly well for us was all the Queen's hats, which is kind of funny, but we had all these pictures of the Queen of England, and we would show a few of the hats that she would wear. So we posted maybe like 4 or 5 of these on Instagram and tell people to swipe up to view more. And a lot of people were very interested in seeing her hats through the ages.
Jenna, in your opinion, how important is Instagram today in the field of photography?
I think it's extremely important. I think it's just as important as having a website with your digital portfolio or a physical book of your portfolio. There's over 1 billion people that use Instagram every month alone. And at its core, it's a photo-driven platform. So if you're a photographer, it only makes sense that you're going to have a presence on a platform like this. It's really the best place to market yourself and the work that you're doing. Chances are, if you're a photographer and you're at an event or you're walking down the street and you meet someone and you tell them you're a photographer, they're probably going to ask you for your Instagram handle because they're going to assume that you have a presence on a platform like that. I think as a tool, though, Instagram is much more than a digital portfolio. It can be a much more intimate experience between the photographer and their audience, and really an opportunity for people to get to know the person behind the lens, their point of view, how they approach their work, how they do things, the kit that they carry in their arsenal. It's also a really good opportunity for photographers to reach new audiences and a way to become more discoverable. I think less and less likely are people looking for photographers through Google or through websites, but they could be looking for them on Instagram. And it's a great way to reach a broader audience as they stumble on their work.
And what do you think, what photography the photographer must put in his Instagram account? So I think the food, what he's eating, or just the photography, just the portfolio, just the work what he's doing.
I think with where Instagram is today, we're all a little tired of seeing food photos of our breakfasts and lunch, as nicely curated as they may be on the plate. It's a little overdone. I think the most important way to share content on Instagram, especially for photographers, is authentically. I think they need to really think about their core values as a photographer, the work that they put out, and how that translates into the images that they're sharing on their photo grid. You could think about it as the way that if a person lands on their Instagram page, what are the first 9 images they're going to see on their grid? And you need to also think about, as people are scrolling through their Instagram feed, what image are they going to stop at, look at, like, comment, and engage with? You really have to, I think the way to really beat through the clutter is to stay true to your authentic self and post images that are a little different. Like I said, we're all seeing the same images every day as we're scrolling through Instagram. You really need to think about what's going to stop somebody from scrolling and grab their attention, and might have a different perspective or a different point of view.
And what about the text behind these images?
I think the captions really do matter. And that's another great place where you can connect with your audience. You know, it's a place where you can show them a little more. You can either explain what's happening in the image, what was happening leading up to it, what prompted you to take that photo, how you took that photo. You can find a way to ask questions so that your audience is actually you're creating a conversation with your audience and really connecting with them on a much deeper level.
Jenna, how important is it to have a large number of followers on Instagram? What are the privileges and benefits of this for photographers?
You know, this might seem a little controversial to some people, but I really do not believe that so much attention should be driven to having a large following. I think there's so much emphasis put on these vanity metrics on social media, especially on Instagram. My personal opinion is that the number of followers someone has is a little less relevant. The number that you should really be paying attention to is your engagement rate. And that is how many likes you're getting, the comments you're getting, how people are interacting with your posts. Are they saving them? Are they sharing them? The higher your engagement rate is, the more likely Instagram is to show your post to more users. And that really means that the followers that you do have like the content that you are putting out. So rather than focusing on reaching new followers, I think it's very important to give attention to the followers you already have. Make sure that they are there to see the content that you're putting out and that they're engaging with it.
And what can you recommend the tools to put their already followers that we have to put their attentions? So because you're right, if we have 1 million followers, not 1 million see this your posts.
I think where engagement is so important. So if you notice that somebody is consistently liking your photos, go to their profile and like some of them back. Leave a comment on some of their photos. It is so crucial to always respond to any comment and any DM that you get, because not only does that help you rank up in Instagram's algorithm, thereby making your post more visible to other people, but it also shows your followers that you care about them and that you care to take the time to not only show your work, but to interact with them and see what they think about it as well. Even if it's something as simple as thanks or a heart emoji, or just liking their comment, any type of interaction that you can give back. I think Instagram really has given you the tools to give back to your followers, and you should take advantage of those.
Then could you share some personal tips that could help a photographer gain not million, maybe 10,000 or 100,000 Instagram followers?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, the main thing is to grab your audience attention and then keep it there. And there's a few rules that you need to think about that, you know, are kind of two serving. One, you want to make sure that you're giving your audience something that they're interested in viewing. And two, you do need to play by Instagram's rules in order to rank up in their algorithm. So a few things they could do is always post consistently. Make sure that it's not just a one-off, one post here, one post there. Whatever your strategy is on Instagram, do it consistently. I would suggest at a very minimum 3 posts a week. Again, make sure that the content that you're posting is authentic. I think because we all have iPhones in our hands and we all have access to taking photos and quickly sharing them, we're inundated with the same images over and over again. So make sure that the content that you're putting out there has a point of view. It's telling a story. It's a little bit different, but it carries authenticity. Some of that may be, you know, for a photographer, it's take your viewers behind the scenes. Show them the settings that you're using. Show them how you're setting up your shot, how you're getting the shot, how you're scouting the locations, but give them something a little more that'll make them keep coming back for more content that you're putting out there. As I mentioned, engaging with your audience is so critical. You want to make sure that they feel seen and heard. In addition to just responding to comments and liking them and asking them questions, you can engage with them with the tools that Instagram Stories offers. You know, there's a lot of different stickers you can use, like the Ask Me Anything question box, the poll, the slider tool. There's a way to make your audience feel very connected with the work that you're putting out there. And the more of these tools that you utilize through Instagram, the more not only Instagram will reward you, but the more that your audience will find a connection to you. Using hashtags and location tags is also very important. And, you know, it really does take some commitment to research when it comes to the world of hashtags. I think we're past the point of just sticking photography, photo of the day, beautiful on every photo and expecting that to work. You know, you really need to focus in on the field that you're in. For example, if you're a nature photographer or a landscape photographer, dig into what other hashtags are out there in the world. You know, beyond just nature, there's very specific hashtags that people are following, and if you're using those hashtags, then they will see your feed posts even if they are not following you, simply because they're following that hashtag. Another great point, they can engage with other accounts that are already liking similar content. So even if they're not engaging with your account, if you're seeing, again, let's say you're a nature photographer and you see somebody's always commenting on Patagonia's post or Nat Geo's post, you know, go to that person's profile, like some of their photos, send them some comments, send them some DMs, but really try to broaden your own audience reach and interact with the people that you think would find your content interesting. And another thing that I think is crucial, and maybe not every person does, but if photography is your business, treat it as such on Instagram. Make sure your bio is optimized and up to date. Make sure that you have a website or an email listed there so that people do have a way of contacting you or finding out more information about you. But let people know you are a photographer. This is what you do. This is your profession.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Can you, on your point of view, what is the model of the Instagram? Can be it is a gallery, or it's a like party, or maybe it's like a place where people speaking with each other. What model, on your point of view, is it?
I mean, I really think that it depends on how you want to use it as a tool. So I've seen accounts that do all of the above. Just a place for them to have fun and connect with people. For other people's, it is their main portfolio. Some people are past the point of having a website as their portfolio, and they use Instagram as their digital portfolio and their digital footprint. Other photographers might want to use it as kind of a snapshot into their world. Maybe instead of showcasing their best photos, they use it as a place to show what's going on in their life behind the scenes. And that's their place to take their followers behind the scenes and kind of show them, like I said before, like what's in their toolkit, how they get the shot. It's a way to really show more than a website might be able to offer. And I think it's really up to the photographer how they want to use that. And that's really the beauty of the platform, is they give you all these different tools so that you can decide what the best way you want to use it for your business.
Thank you very much.